My child, you have felt it in the quiet places no one else sees. The ache of wondering why love keeps slipping through your fingers. The sting of being overlooked, the shame of asking yourself if you were too much, not enough, or simply too late. You have carried the private grief of watching other people be chosen while you were left standing in the doorway, trying to act unshaken, trying not to let the loneliness show. And I have seen every tear you swallowed. I have heard every question you never said out loud. I know the night you stared at your phone and felt forgotten. I know the moment you smiled in front of everyone while your heart was breaking in silence. Beloved, you have not been invisible to me. Even when people misunderstood you, even when promises fell apart, even when someone walked away and left you with more questions than answers, I was there. I was there in the shaking of your heart. I was there when you replayed the past and tried to find the moment everything changed. I was there when you wondered if you had missed your chance, if the person meant for you had already gone, or if love was simply something other people were allowed to have. And because the weight has felt so heavy, you started searching everywhere for relief. You looked for signs in passing songs, in repeated numbers, in random messages, in little moments that seemed too perfect to ignore. You tried to manifest what your heart wanted. You tried to speak it into existence, to force clarity, to make destiny bend to your fear. You asked friends. You checked profiles. You noticed every detail, every online silence, every small hint that might tell you what is happening behind the scenes. My child, I understand why you did it. When a heart is hungry, it will reach for anything that promises comfort. When the soul is tired of waiting, it starts chasing shadows and calling them answers. But hear me now. What you cannot control, I can govern. What you cannot see, I can reveal in my time. And what has been hidden from you is not hidden from me. There are things unfolding that your anxiety has not been able to touch. There are conversations you do not know about. There are convictions being stirred. There are memories resurfacing. There are questions growing louder in the heart of the one you have been thinking about. Yes, beloved, the one you keep wondering about has not been able to forget you as easily as you feared. They may not say it. They may not show it. But something about you has remained with them. Your presence, your words, your kindness, your absence, the way you made them feel seen, the way you challenged them, the way you touched a place in them no one else reached. It has stayed there. Do not confuse silence with indifference. Do not assume delay means denial. So often my children mistake my stillness for absence, when all along I am arranging what they could not arrange themselves. I am dealing with timing. I am dealing with motives. I am dealing with what is real and what is only emotional noise. Because not every longing is from me, and not every connection is meant to last. But when I have placed something in your path, I do not need your panic to keep it alive. I do not need your striving to protect it. I do not need your fear to preserve what I have already seen. My child, the reason you have felt such a war in your mind is because your heart has been caught between hope and self-protection. One moment you believe love is possible. The next moment you brace for disappointment. One moment you feel led to believe this person is thinking about you. The next moment you tell yourself you are imagining things because it hurts too much to hope. That tension has exhausted you. But I am speaking into that weary place right now. I am not asking you to manufacture certainty. I am asking you to trust that I have never once lost track of you, and I have never once lost track of the one you have been praying about. There are hidden things being exposed even now. Lies are losing their power. Misunderstandings are being uncovered. False narratives are cracking. What looked like rejection may have been protection. What felt like abandonment may have been a redirection you did not understand at the time. I know that sounds difficult when your heart wants simple answers. I know you want to know who feels what, who is coming back, who is honest, who is faithful, who is yours in my will. But beloved, I am first healing the places in you that would make you settle for less than peace. I am teaching you to recognize the difference between a passing attraction and a covenant connection. I am saving you from being ruled by every emotion that rises and falls like the tide. So breathe, my child. You do not need to chase what I have ordained. You do not need to beg for what I can place in your hands at the right moment. You do not need to force a door that I alone can open. The one who cannot stop wondering about you is not beyond my reach. Their thoughts are not too tangled for me. Their heart is not too guarded for me. Their path is not too crooked for me to straighten. If I am in it, then no distance, no pride, no fear, no delay, and no hidden battle can stop my hand. And if you have been asking, Lord, why does it feel so intense? Why does this connection stay on my mind? Why does my spirit keep returning to it? Then listen carefully. Sometimes what you carry so deeply is not there to torment you. Sometimes it is there to teach you patience, discernment, and surrender. I am using this season to expose what is true in you and in them. I am showing you where your fear has been speaking louder than faith. I am showing you where your heart has been trying to outrun my timing. And I am showing you that even in longing, I am still loving you. Even in uncertainty, I am still leading you. Even in this ache, I am still working. Beloved, you are not abandoned in the waiting. You are being prepared in it. And the one you keep wondering about is not as untouched by your presence as you have feared. What is happening behind the veil is more real than the doubts in your mind. I am not done speaking. I am not done revealing. And I am not done writing the story of your love. My child, I need you to understand why your heart reached for those traps so quickly. It was never because you were foolish. It was never because you were weak in some shameful way. It was because fear got loud when love felt uncertain. It was because pressure pressed down on places in you that had already been bruised. It was because your trust had been broken before, and once trust has been wounded, the soul starts building walls before it even knows it is doing it. You learn to watch closely. You learn to brace for disappointment. You learn to question what should have been simple. And when the pain stayed unresolved for too long, your spirit began searching for anything that could make the waiting feel less terrifying. That is why you leaned on signs. That is why you tried to read meaning into every little detail. That is why you reached for manifestation, hoping if you could just think the right thoughts, speak the right words, and stay positive enough, you could somehow keep your heart from breaking again. You were trying to create certainty because uncertainty felt unbearable. You were trying to hold the future in your hands because you had lived through too many moments where things slipped away without warning. My child, I see the root under the behavior. I see the hurt beneath the habit. I see the fear underneath the striving. And I must also tell you this with tenderness, pride entered too, not always in the way people accuse you of, but in the quieter way it often does. Pride whispered that you had to figure this out on your own. Pride told you that if you could just analyze enough, predict enough, control enough, then you would not have to be vulnerable again. Pride made you feel responsible for managing what only I can manage. Pride told you that if you were wise enough, strong enough, careful enough, you could avoid the pain of depending on me too deeply. But beloved, I never called you to carry your life like that. I never asked you to be your own savior. I never asked you to secure your own destiny with exhausted hands. Look at Job, my child. He did not understand what was happening around him. He lost what he loved. He was pressed by grief, by confusion, by accusation, by silence. But in the middle of it, I was not absent. I was working in the unseen. I was exposing what was fragile and refining what was true. And in the end, I restored him beyond what he expected. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. What seems like delay is not my refusal. What feels like loss is not the end of your story. Job could not see the heavenly conversation, but heaven was speaking over his life the whole time. So are you ready to believe that I can be just as present in your hidden season? Think also of Joseph. His brothers betrayed him. The pit was real. The prison was real. The waiting was real. The false accusation was real. The years did not vanish just because his promise was true. Yet every place that looked like it would bury him was actually becoming the road that led him into purpose. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. Joseph did not understand the exact timing while he was serving, suffering, and being forgotten by men, but I had already written the outcome. I was moving pieces he could not move. I was opening doors no human power could open. And when the moment came, no prison door and no delay could stop what I had appointed. My child, if you have felt forgotten, Joseph knows that ache. If you have felt misjudged, he knows that pain. If you have wondered why your character is being tested in private while others seem to move forward without struggle, Joseph stands as a witness that I do not waste hidden seasons. I prepare kings in obscurity. I shape destiny in places no one applauds. I test hearts where no audience can see. And when I lift someone up, it is because I have been with them all along. Remember David, beloved. He was anointed, but he was still sent back to the field. He was chosen, but he still had to face the lion and the bear. He was called, but he still had to run from Saul. He knew what it was to be pursued, misunderstood, and pressured from every side. Yet I was training his hands for war and his heart for worship. I was making him into a man who could carry responsibility without being destroyed by applause or rejection. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. What you call a pause, I call preparation. What you call a setback, I call strengthening. I am teaching you how to stand when your feelings shift. I am teaching you how to trust me when people cannot be counted on. I am teaching you how to remain faithful in the long road between promise and fulfillment. And Moses, my child. Moses argued with me. Moses felt inadequate. Moses had a history. He had been shaped by failure, by exile, by identity confusion, by a sense that perhaps he had missed his moment. But I met him in the wilderness, not the palace. I called him while he was tending sheep, not while he was celebrated. I did this for him, and I am doing it for you. He thought his weakness disqualified him. I made his weakness the place where my power would be seen. He thought his stuttering and his hesitation would cancel his calling. I used them to show that deliverance comes from me, not from human polish. So when you look at yourself and think, Lord, I have too much history. I have too many questions. I have been too hurt, too guarded, too slow to trust, I am answering you now, that is not the end of your usefulness. That is not the end of your love story. That is not the end of what I can do through you. The very places you think are disqualifying you are the places where my grace can shine most clearly. I am not intimidated by your past. I am not confused by your scars. I am not repelled by your fear. I am redeeming all of it. My child, the reason I let you walk through disappointment is because I am revealing what is solid and what is smoke. Some people cannot carry the depth of your heart. Some connections were never built for covenant. Some promises were only strong in words and weak in spirit. I am exposing all of that now so you do not build your future on what cannot sustain it. And yes, I know your heart asks, but Lord, what about the one I cannot stop thinking about? What about the one who seems to wonder about me too? Listen to me closely. If they are truly aligned with the purpose I have for you, then I can awaken what has been sleeping. I can soften what has been guarded. I can bring conviction where there has been confusion. I can create honesty where there has been silence. But I will not let you mistake anxiety for prophecy. I will not let fear write the script of your love story. I will not let old wounds define what comes next. I am healing your expectations. I am cleansing your discernment. I am teaching you not to grasp at what appears and not to dismiss what is real because it comes quietly. My timing does not always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes it comes like a calm voice after a storm, like a door that opens at the exact moment it should, like a heart that finally stops running and starts telling the truth. So stay with me, my child. Stay gentle in this waiting. Stay open without becoming reckless. Stay hopeful without handing your peace to every passing thought. I am still at work in places you cannot measure. And the story is not stalled. It is unfolding. My child, I know exactly how this kind of waiting touches every part of your life. It does not stay neatly in one corner of your heart. It spills into your mornings, your work, your appetite, your sleep, your prayer life, and even the way you answer the phone when someone calls. It follows you into the grocery store. It sits beside you in the parked car. It rises up in the middle of the night when the house is quiet and your thoughts get louder than your faith. And I know that for some of you, this is not just about romance. It is about everything that has been unraveling at once. You lost the job that made you feel secure, and now you are asking if you will ever recover. Your marriage ended, and you are trying to understand how something so sacred could break so painfully. Your body has been fighting illness, and you are exhausted from being strong when you do not feel strong at all. Someone you trusted betrayed you, and now every new possibility feels like it might carry another wound. Beloved, I see the full picture. I do not look at your life in pieces. I do not only notice your longing for love and ignore the bills on the table. I do not see your desire for companionship and overlook the private pain of aging, loneliness, grief, or regret. I know when you sit at the edge of your bed and stare into the dark because sleep will not come. I know the nights when your mind replays every conversation you wish had gone differently. I know the moments when you wondered whether your best days had already passed. I know the shame that whispered, "Why am I still here, still waiting, still hoping?" And I am telling you now that I am not far from any of it. But there is something I need you to know before I say anything else. What looked like a delay was preparation. Yes, beloved. That waiting you despised so deeply was not empty. It was not wasted. It was not me forgetting to move. It was me building something in you that time alone could not create. If I had given you what you wanted too early, before your roots were deep enough, before your wounds were exposed, before your discernment sharpened, you would have called the gift a blessing and then struggled to carry it. You would have mistaken chemistry for covenant. You would have accepted attention as love. You would have clung to someone simply because they made the loneliness quiet. But I am not raising you to survive on temporary comfort. I am preparing you for something real. You see, my child, I know what happens when a heart has been bruised repeatedly. It starts craving relief more than truth. It starts wanting someone, anyone, to choose it. It becomes vulnerable to counterfeit peace. So I allowed certain things to take longer than you hoped because I was protecting you from settling while bleeding. I was protecting you from building a future on a foundation that could not hold it. I was protecting you from a connection that would have looked beautiful at first and then slowly drained you of yourself. What you called delay was me guarding your destiny. And even now, as you sit with all that has happened, you may not yet see how every closed door, every disappointment, every strange silence, every cancelled plan, every relationship that did not go where you thought it would go, has been part of a deeper mercy. I have been preserving your heart from becoming hard. I have been keeping you from becoming so numb that you could no longer recognize love when it came. I have been teaching you how to wait without losing yourself. I have been teaching you how to trust me before you trust the next set of circumstances. Think about the season when you thought you were falling behind. The friend who got married before you. The sibling who seemed to settle down easily. The person from your past who moved on quickly while you were still healing. The social media posts that made everybody else's life look stable, shiny, and blessed while yours felt like a quiet storm. My child, I saw the comparisons. I saw the envy you tried to suppress. I saw the question that rose up in secret, Lord, why them and not me? And I tell you with love, comparison has been one of the heaviest weights on your soul. It has blurred your view of my timing. It has made you think your story was late when it was actually being shaped with precision. I am asking you to step back from the noise long enough to let truth breathe. Some of the things you called proof were only pressure points. Some of the feelings you tried to decode were simply your wounded heart trying to predict pain before it arrived. Some of the signs you chased were not signs at all, but the echo of a soul desperate for certainty. And that is why I am slowing you down even now. Not to punish you. To restore you. To teach you how to rest without needing constant evidence. To remind you that I am not leading you by panic. My child, I am also addressing the places where betrayal made you suspicious. You learned to question because someone once lied. You learned to double-check because someone once hid the truth. You learned to keep one foot out the door because being fully invested once left you devastated. But healing cannot happen while every new possibility is being examined like a threat. And I am not saying to ignore wisdom. I am saying do not let old wounds make every open door look like a trap. Let me heal the part of you that expects the worst before anything has even happened. There are some of you listening right now who carry the weight of divorce like a stone in your chest. You did not think your life would look like this at this age. You did not think you would be starting over with so much behind you and so much uncertainty ahead of you. There are others who have buried a spouse, buried a dream, buried a child, buried a version of themselves they no longer recognize. And yes, some of you have been faithfully serving me through chronic illness, through depression, through financial strain, through caregiving, through loneliness so deep it has become familiar. My child, I have seen the places where your strength is spent. I have seen the tears you hide so that others will not worry. I have seen the way you keep showing up even when your spirit feels thin. Let me speak a gentle truth into that suffering: you are not disqualified by what you have survived. You are being shaped by it. I do not waste pain. I do not collect sorrow without purpose. I do not let suffering have the final word over someone I love. The story you are in is not a sentence. It is a process. And if your heart has become cautious, I understand why. But do not let caution become captivity. There is more happening in the unseen than your fear can interpret. While you have been trying to hold yourself together, I have been working in hearts, minds, and circumstances that you cannot access. I have been dealing with pride in the one you wonder about. I have been dealing with fear in the one you wonder about. I have been dealing with whatever false story they have told themselves about you. Yes, beloved, sometimes a person cannot come near what they truly feel because they do not yet know how to carry it honestly. Sometimes the distance is not disinterest, but immaturity. Sometimes the silence is not the end, but the struggle before surrender. And I am not asking you to force an outcome. I am asking you to trust that I know how to bring truth to the surface. Because truth will rise. It always does. What has been hidden cannot hide forever when I am moving. The things they have avoided naming, the feelings they have buried, the questions they have refused to answer in their own heart, I can bring all of it into the light without confusion. I can make a person confront what they have been running from. I can quiet the noise of pride long enough for honesty to speak. I can expose whether a connection is rooted in fear, convenience, healing, or covenant. And I can also reveal the places in you where you have been tempted to turn a human being into the answer for pain only I can heal. My child, I say this with love: you do not need to become obsessed to become aware. You do not need to monitor every move to know I am working. You do not need to check, chase, or guess your way into peace. I am inviting you into a better way. A way where your soul can rest even before the full story is told. A way where you can stop using every quiet moment to rehearse the worst-case scenario. A way where you can finally admit that you are tired of carrying tomorrow in your chest. And if you have been asking me in the dark, Lord, are you really in this? Then listen closely. I have not overlooked one detail. Not one missed call. Not one cry in the shower. Not one silent drive home. Not one doctor's report. Not one rejection. Not one awkward conversation. Not one moment when you thought you were being left behind. I have been there. And I am still here. The delay was not abandonment. It was preparation. It was me teaching your heart how to recognize what is worth waiting for. It was me removing what could have damaged you. It was me preparing the other person too, whether they know it yet or not. Yes, there is a turning point now, and I need you to sense it. The season of mindless wandering is ending. The season of pulling random meanings out of air is ending. The season of begging life to tell you what I have already said is ending. What comes next is clarity. What comes next is exposure. What comes next is a quieter, truer kind of knowing. And that knowing will not make you anxious. It will steady you. It will not confuse you. It will confirm what I have been doing all along. So be still for a moment, my child. Let the noise settle. Let the fear loosen its grip. Let the tears come if they need to come. You are not losing time. You are being prepared for time. And the one who has been wondering about you is not outside my hand. Not 1 second of this has escaped my sight. My child, now listen carefully, because I am speaking directly into the place where your heart has been waiting for confirmation. The same God who said, "I know the plans I have for you," has not changed his mind about your life. I am still the one who works all things together for good to those who love me and are called according to my purpose. That includes the pain you did not choose. That includes the betrayal you did not deserve. That includes the waiting you thought would break you. It will not break you. It will build you. And I need you to hear this promise plainly: I am not only able to restore what was lost, I am able to redeem what was delayed. I am the Lord who goes before you. I am the shepherd who leads you beside still waters. I am the one who restores your soul. So if your mind has been racing, I will bring peace that passes understanding. If your body has been weak, I will strengthen you day by day. If your finances have been strained, I will provide according to my riches in glory. If your heart has been bruised by disappointment, I will bind up the broken-hearted. If your future has felt unclear, I will make your path straight. Beloved, do not let fear speak louder than Scripture. The Lord is near to the broken-hearted. That is not a poetry line. That is a promise. Perfect love casts out fear. That is not a suggestion. That is my truth. Be still, and know that I am God. I am asking you now to stop fighting for control long enough to let me be God over the very thing that has kept you awake. I know the hidden questions in your heart. I know the one you have been thinking about. I know the tenderness, the uncertainty, the hope you have guarded so carefully. And I am telling you that nothing is too hidden for me to uncover at the right time. But there is something else I need you to hold on to before I close this word. What is being revealed next will not be random. It will be precise. It will answer a question you have not yet dared to ask out loud. It will expose whether what you felt was imagination, intuition, or the beginning of something I am truly breathing on. So do not rush ahead of me. Do not build stories from fragments. Let me complete the sentence. My child, I now pray over you as if you were the only one listening, because in this moment, to me, you are. Father, in the name of Jesus, I lift this beloved heart to you. You see the tears they never posted, the prayers they whispered after midnight, the fear they carried into another hard day. I ask you to cover them with your peace. Quiet every accusing voice. Silence every tormenting thought. Let no weapon formed against them prosper, and let every tongue that has risen against their hope be brought to nothing. Lord, give them wisdom when they do not know what to do. You said if we lack wisdom, we may ask and you give generously without finding fault. So I ask you now to pour out wisdom into their decisions, wisdom into their words, wisdom into their boundaries, wisdom into their next steps. Keep them from confusion. Keep them from counterfeit comfort. Keep them from entering doors that were never meant for them. Teach them how to wait with discernment, how to love without losing themselves, and how to trust without surrendering their voice. Father, protect them from spiritual attack in the night season. Guard their mind when old memories try to return like thieves. Guard their heart when hope and fear collide. Guard their body from exhaustion and anxiety. Guard their home, their children, their sleep, their work, their relationships, and their future. Surround them with angels assigned by your command. Let your presence be a shield around them. Let your word be a lamp to their feet and a light to their path. And where the enemy has tried to steal joy, restore it. Where he has tried to plant dread, uproot it. Where he has tried to scatter their thoughts, gather them back into peace. Jesus, I pray for courage over this one. Courage to believe again. Courage to release what is not theirs to control. Courage to speak truth when silence has become heavy. Courage to walk away from what drains them. Courage to stand still when you say wait. Courage to move when you say go. And if this connection they have been grieving is from you, then I ask you to make it clear in your perfect timing. If it is not, then lovingly sever what must be cut away so they will not remain bound to an illusion. Let no counterfeit hold them hostage. Let no fear counterfeit your voice. Father, I pray for breakthrough in every area where they have been stuck. Break through the financial pressure. Break through the medical reports. Break through the grief. Break through the divorce pain. Break through the betrayal. Break through the loneliness that makes nighttime feel endless. Break through the heaviness that has followed them for too long. Let your favor open what man cannot shut. Let your truth expose what has been hidden. Let your mercy speak louder than their shame. Let your goodness pursue them all the days of their life. And Lord, for the one they have wondered about, if there is repentance needed, bring it. If there is clarity needed, bring it. If there is healing needed, bring it. If there is courage needed, bring it. If there is no place in your will for them, then remove the longing without leaving a wound. But if this is part of the story you are writing, then prepare both hearts with holiness, honesty, patience, and peace. Let it be marked by truth, not fantasy. Let it be governed by you, not by fear. Let it be blessed, not battled. My child, I am not finished with you. I am not finished with your story. I am not finished with the deeper work that will make joy safe for your heart again. Hold on. Keep listening. Something is about to make sense that has confused you for a long time. And when it does, you will know I was never late. May my peace guard your heart, my wisdom guide your steps, and my favor go before you.